It's a Monday morning. Welcome on the show. Of course, it's Plus Sports and PlusTvAfrica. My name is Wally Scott. You all know how I feel about Monday mornings. We have a lot of things to discuss on the show this morning based on sports issues. Of course, Nigeria's sole CAF Confederations Cup campaigner, Enyimba, are on the brink of missing out on Wednesday's Matchday 5 fixture against Libya's Al Benghazi due to flight issues. Enyimba are scheduled to face Ahly Benghazi at the Matthias of February Stadium, but have yet to secure Schengen visas for their trip to Libya en route to Turkey with just 2 days to the match. Enyimba had written to CAF to have the match rescheduled so they can seek out other means of transportation, but CAF on Sunday denied their request, which has further placed them in a dilemma. The club's media officer, Zazie Bariza, has revealed. Bariza disclosed that the team currently at their base in Aba will need about 130 million naira to charter a private flight to the match venue if they are to handle the game. Enyimba are currently second in the Group A table with 6 points from 4 games, 2 adrift of leaders Orlando Pirates, Algeria's SES Setif, and Ahly are third and fourth with 4 points apiece. Both AS Setif and Ahly Benghazi, who visited Nigeria to honor their Group A fixtures, traveled via chartered private jets. And now, let's go on to the show proper. I've got Damilola Odubunmi on Zoom this morning from Lagos via Zoom. Good morning, Damilola. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott.
And I've got Pelumi Akinsomi. We call him Pep. Good morning, Pep. Good morning, Pep.
Good morning.
Oh, good to have you on the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you on the show, Pep. I can hear you.
Yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to be on the show.
Now, let me start with Damilola on the show this morning. Damilola, it's sad that we have a match on Wednesday, a continental match on Wednesday. We are looking for 130 million naira to get a private jet. First of all, we don't even have our Schengen visas yet. And then we're looking for a private jet to take us to Libya for the match. How do we organize things in Nigeria and we expect a miracle at the dying minute?
It's Monday already, so the visibility of that happening is quite low. I mean, with all the planning with the Schengen visas, I know those things aren't rushed. And the funds it takes together to pull up the private and charter. It's only maybe, probably the state governments can bail them out, or maybe they can take a loan from the NFF, something like that to happen, because it'd be a disgrace if our only reps in the particular constitution are going out based on flimsy excuses like bad travel arrangements. I mean, it's a big slap on Nigeria as a whole.
Let me come to you, Pep. Let me come to you on this one. How can we, at this point in time, this is Monday to 10 a.m. in the morning, we have a match for 4 p.m. Nigerian time on Wednesday, and we are looking for money for private jets now. We're looking for how to get to Libya now. And we're going to go to Libya en route to Turkey. Hello, Pep, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
In less than 48 hours, we're looking for transport fare to get us to Libya for a match for Wednesday, 4 p.m.
At this point, there is little or nothing that can be done, except if the Nigerian Football Commission can come in to help them, because at this point, it's not feasible that the club can raise 130 million to in less than 48 hours to be able to fund this trip. So these are some of the problems these clubs face, whereby the NPFL, the LNC could have stepped in even before this moment. It should not be 48 hours to the match, whereby they will now be scrambling around looking for funds to be able to go for this match, and then even facing possible expulsion from the competition due to absence, because if they cannot travel for this match, they will be expelled from the competition. So I feel like the club itself could have liaised with the government or even the state government, the club's owners, look for possible solutions before even this, because they could have come to a fine. I know they wrote to CAF to be able to help them suspend or postpone the match, which CAF refused and said the match has to go on. So in that case, they could have come to an agreement, looked for probably a neutral venue whereby this Schengen visa, the Libyans will come to that neutral venue and the Nigerians, whereby this will not come to. But in this case, whereby now they have less than 48 hours, the only help they can actually get is probably if the government steps in to provide or help them charter, because that's another option for them, a private airline being chartered. So if the government, if they can appeal to the state government or even the federal government, because this is Nigeria we are talking about.
True that.
Enyimba, probably the biggest club this country has produced, being disgraced on an international scene. It should not be done. So if they can, if that is the only thing they can do at this point, if they can appeal to the government to probably come in, help them, just a chartered private flight to and fro Libya for this match to be able to take place.
Okay, well, we don't go anywhere. Damilola, please stay with us too. I'll come back to you now. Now, Europe's soccer governing body, UEFA, is expected to announce a new 36-team Champions League format from 2024 on Monday, that's today. Now, UEFA's ruling executive committee meets on Monday, today, ahead of Tuesday, that's tomorrow's Congress, where President Alexander Seferin hopes to have his plans voted through. The European Club Association has been supportive of UEFA's plans to expand the tournament to 36 teams and change the group stage to a single-table format with 10 games instead of the current 6. Europe's leading clubs met on Friday, April 17th, to thrash out their position on reforms and how it seems to be satisfied with the changes. The UEFA plans has been produced against the backdrop of reports of a proposed breakaway Super League run by the top clubs without the governing body involved.
There are details that need to be addressed, one being the access to the competitions. I mean, if we have 4 extra spots, how will these be allocated? There are elements that need to be fine-tuned there. But I would say that within a couple of weeks, everything should be pretty much sorted. And that's the hope that both President Seferin and I have for the competitions post-2024. Some years ago, it was unprecedented that not just the champions were allowed in the Champions Cup, and then it became normality. So I wouldn't be too concerned about unprecedented events, which then become normality, if they do and if they're approved. So when once was a blasphemy, imagining not just the champions in the Champions Cup, now it's absolutely normal. And so, I mean, I wouldn't be too concerned about change.
Damilola, let me go to the local level this morning. UEFA, de para. There's no doubt about it. Now, I can understand that. How can you wake up in the morning because you have money, because you are called elite clubs, break away and form your own league and call it a Super League? Who does that?
Well, I would say the greedy owners of this club. They feel they rake in the most money from the competitions, and surely they actually do, because they are the ones that bring in most of the viewership and followership from the world competition. Like Champions League now, the big clubs get the biggest games. Their fans watch the biggest games, more viewership, and the rest. So they feel they deserve more from the collective pot, because UEFA distributes the money evenly among all its members. But the bigger teams feel they deserve more money. So that's the reason why they're trying to break away to form their own Super League. I mean, I've read this morning that JP Morgan are one of the major financial backers of this, and each invitee to the proposed Super League gets an upfront payment of I think £350 million or something like that. I mean, that's outrageous money. And if they compete in the Champions League, they are guaranteed to make, at least if you win Champions League, they are guaranteed to make nothing at most as much as 50 million. So this is double or triple the amount just for competing, not even winning the whole tournament on its own.
Okay, let me come
UEFA are outrightly annoyed. I mean, it's backing them into a corner.
I understand that. Now, Palumi, let me come to you on this one. I am disappointed this morning in Arsenal Vice President Stan Kroenke. Now, at a point, Arsene Wenger, when he was Arsenal coach, said, listen, let's put a benchmark on how much you pay on players. We are spending too much on players, he says. And he says as long as only some clubs can afford these players, only those clubs will continue to win these so-called big leagues. Only Bayern can afford 80, 90 million pound players. Only Man U, Chelsea. So those teams who can afford it will continue to be second fiddle. And then before we think of anything else, these clubs, with all their money, want to form their own league, an elite club. How would this work like this? How will these smaller clubs who are not as financially fortunate as them, how do they survive?
Yeah, exactly. This is the major. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. Go on, I can hear you.
This is the major reaction to the news since it broke yesterday. This is why everybody is against it, because imagine 12 clubs coming together and calling themselves Founders, and we all know the main motivation behind this is the financial gain. So it is going to have a big repercussion on the lower clubs in all of the leagues involved in world football, because imagine just a few clubs having access to this kind of fund, whereby even if we know the former Champions League, you have to qualify on merit. It's when you qualify on merit to the Champions League that you're able to access these possible funds that are available. But this, notwithstanding on how you perform, you want. So they created a league whereby they are there every year in, year out, with access to over 300 million funds. And if we know how the gulf in difference even between the big clubs and the small clubs, and then they are now trying to widen this gap in such a way that the small clubs will not be able to compete with the big clubs any longer. Because imagine these clubs having over 300 million to 400 million to spend on transfers every year. It takes away the competitiveness of the league itself.
Now, Damilola, let me come to you on this one. What I believe is that it's a case of you are saying these clubs are thinking about just money, money, money. I agree with you on that one. Are you saying other big clubs don't want money? I know for one that the Bundesliga and the French Le Championnat have refused to join the Super League. Are you saying PSG, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund don't like money?
Well, the thing about German league is that they don't have a owner, so to say. I mean, if I ask you that who owns Bayern Munich or who is the major guy there, there's no billionaire in control of the affairs in German league. It's mostly owned by the fans. Make sure they're owned by the fans. So there's nobody they could like approach to form the league with them. Then speaking about the French league, PSG also, my understanding, UEFA, their president, Al-Khalif, is a member of the UEFA, is a prominent member of the UEFA body. And Qatar also, FIFA, the World Cup, Qatar owns PSG, so they can't be seen siding against the picking one side over the other. So that's why they decided to stay neutral so far, I presume. But I think PSG will soon move away also, because 12 league, I think they're going to be 15 or so. But Bayern and Dortmund, they are not going to get involved in this mess.
Okay, I'll come to you guys on this one. I have another question to ask again. But Southampton manager Ralph Hasenhuttle has described the idea of a European Super League as completely unacceptable. Premier League, the English FA, and the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson have all made it clear they oppose the concept. Amid reports a dozen leading teams are prepared to start a brand new competition. He was speaking after their 1-0 defeat by Leicester in the FA Cup semi-final.
Absolutely worry me, but I must say that the message from the Premier League was a very clear one, and 100% agree what they say about this. This is for me absolutely unacceptable what is going here behind the scenes. And I think nobody wants it, not even the fans of the clubs who want to go there want it. So hopefully we will find the right steps to not let it happen.
Pep, let me come to you on this one. Drastic actions to be taken. Anytime from now, at least by 12 noon Nigerian time, UEFA Executive Committee will meet. And part of their major discussion is this Super League. And one of their discussion is that, listen, what kind of punishment should they get? And they've singled out two. All the teams involved be banned from any UEFA arranged competition and FIFA. And secondly, none of their players will play for their countries for now. Isn't that too drastic?
Okay, that is not drastic, because the UEFA and FIFA are going to try their best to fight this in any way possible, and they know that is like the only step they can take that will be very, very harsh to these clubs that might actually stop them from going through with this idea. So they cannot fight. They know that it is as good as done at this point, because it has been in the workings for years, and now they have come out with an official announcement that this Super League, this European Super League, has been created. So therefore, UEFA is quite, because UEFA stand to be the biggest loser, because imagining a Champions League season without the likes of Manchester United, Real Madrid, Manchester City, without Barcelona, without Atletico, they know they are going to lose a lot from this, and they do not want to see this happening. So they are going to threaten them with everything in the books possible to stop them from going through with this. They will expel them from the league. They said they might probably ban some of the players for this club. They will not be able to even appear in the international competition. And this is what we are looking to see how this is going to play going forward, because probably some of the players in these clubs will be forced to speak out if this goes on. So we really cannot. I saw an headline this morning. BBC said a civil war in football. You see, so this is like the first time something like this is happening. And this is a power play, a financial power play, of which UEFA, the biggest body in Europe, would not want to lose this battle to the 12 founding clubs. So they are going to try as much as possible to impose every ban they can take off on these clubs to make them drop the idea of this Super League.
Now, Damilola, is this not a case of putting the cart before the horse? Because what are these guys thinking? What are these clubs thinking? If you want to arrange a Super League, you have to go through these particular bodies, FIFA and UEFA. How can these guys ever think that because they have so much money, they actually think of having their own league without going through the bodies that actually run football, either FIFA or UEFA? Hello, Damilola. Hello, can you hear me? I don't know if Damilola is still there. Okay, now, Pelumi, I was asking Damilola a question, but network is coming back to us. I'm asking, are they not putting the horse before the car? Because is it possible that they will actually arrange a league by themselves without going through FIFA or UEFA? How did they think they could manage that without going through the bodies that actually control football across the world?
Okay, thank you very much. That is the exact problem UEFA are having with them, because they showed a big disregard for the governing bodies of European football. So just like you rightly said, they do not want to be governed anymore by the UEFA rules and all of that, because of financial fair play and any other financial regulation. So that's why they want to bypass FIFA and UEFA. And that is what UEFA is trying to fight against, by saying you cannot create a league for yourself and be governed by the chairman of your clubs, and create a league where you will be playing by your own rules, which it is not possible. That is what UEFA is. That is the statement they put out yesterday, that it is against the competitive nature of the game itself, whereby you can just create something out of your own ideas, which is unprecedented. Like it came as a big surprise when this even came out yesterday. And
stay with us, because we don't go anywhere yet. Somebody was joking this morning on one of these social media handles, and it was saying, senior man, tell us where the prayer warrior day. Tell us where the prayer warrior day. And We call him Senior Man, Kelele, of course. Now, Leicester City reached the FA Cup final for the first time in more than 50 years as Kelechi Iheanacho's goal secured a 1-0 win over Southampton at Wembley on Sunday. A disappointing game was settled 10 minutes after the interval as the informed Nigerian striker slotted at the second attempt after a good work by JB Vardy. Leicester, who have never won the FA Cup and last appeared in the final in 1969, will face Chelsea on May 15th. A crowd of around 4,000 mainly local residents and key workers were allowed to attend the semi-final as part of a test event for the return of crowds as COVID-19 restrictions ease. Iheanacho was already the highest scoring African player in the FA Cup, having overtaken Chelsea's Didier Drogba, 12, by scoring a 3-1 defeat of Manchester United in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it felt really, really good to have supporters in, and we could hear, a number of supporters for Leicester in the crowd. So that was really, really nice. But it's a step towards getting, getting that sort of connection back, because the game is nothing without the supporters, really. The players over this course of this last season and all teams have been brilliant in terms of the intensity and what they've given to the games. But supporters adds the pressure, adds the intensity, and just having, like you say, 4,000 people in, it felt really good. So hopefully we can get to the final when we get here in a month's time, and there can be a few more in, and we work our way back to getting the stadiums full again. To be fair, Ian, I've got no interest in talking about it, to be honest. One, my focus is purely with Leicester, and I don't want you to kill my joy by taking me down a road that is maybe a negative. This is an evening where I'm very proud of the team, very proud of the supporters. I'll get more information on what you're talking.
Before we go on the show quickly, Kelechi Iheanacho, most people have said Gennaro might not be the best coach in the world, but he has created healthy rivalry among Super Eagles players. And because he brought in Onuachu, he brought in Victor Osimhen, and that's why Kelechi had to step up his game.
Yeah, because Kelechi, I was so delighted yesterday evening again when he popped in with yet another goal for Leicester City, taking them to their first final in since the early 1960s. You see, the Demetrius actions of dropping Onuachu and some of these players, it showed that, okay, fine, he wants there to be competition in the Super Eagles amongst the attackers. And we can see the impact over the last few weeks. Nigerian attackers have been scoring goals left, right, center. Iheanacho has been, he stepped up his game, his confidence improved, and he knows that the country is looking up to him to step up as the new central forward. And he's doing every best, week in, week out, improving in training, and we can see the results even in his matches. His confidence is sky high, winning man of the match after man of the match, won the player of the month last month. And some people were thinking, okay, probably it was just the one-time thing. But even after that, he is improving daily, which is something I am happy to see, very happy to see, going around Europe and seeing a lot of Nigerian strikers. Even Onuachu now is on the verge of breaking Genk record for a season. He's a goal behind.
Okay.
Because the next 2 goals for the season is going to be their highest goal scorer in a season for his current club.
Yeah.
So which is good to see.
All over Europe, can you give me a minute here? Now, Damilola, quickly before we go on the show today, can Kelechi replicate this form against a smoking hot Chelsea team? And I mean smoking hot.
Yes, definitely he can. I mean, it's all up to him. Currently, he's a man on form. He's on top of the world right now. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he's currently the best goal scorer this season with 15 goals. That's huge for him, considering Vardy used to be the main man, but now everybody gives the ball to Iheanacho. I mean, if he is not to score some goals.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning, Damilola. I'm very grateful, and we hope you'll join us again next time when we call you. Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you very much. Belumi Akisomi, Pep is what we call you. Thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you very much. It was good to be on the show.
That's all we can take on the show today. Thank you, Damilola Odubunmi and Pelumi Akisomi, for joining us on the show this morning. Join us same time tomorrow, same station, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. My name is Wally Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.